Every aspirant on YouTube will tell you where to buy mock tests. They'll tell you how many marks they scored. They will share their perfectly planned study routines, aesthetic desks, and productive days. But today, I want to talk about something no one really talks about. Have you ever seen an aspirant proudly upload their worst mock test score? Maybe you have, I never did. And that made me believe that everyone else was doing perfectly except me. Whenever I watched study vlogs, I used to wonder they have 24 hours in a day and I have the same 24 hours. Then why do they achieve so much while I kept falling behind? I watched them wake up before sunrise. They started with editorials, then speed maths, current affairs, reasoning, men's lecture, and before noon, half of their to do list was already complete. After lunch, they would take a mock test, analyze every mistake, revise old topics, and still have the energy to study more. I looked at them and thought, if they can do it, why can't I? So I tried copying everything. I woke up early, I followed the same routine, I attended the same lectures. Everything went well until it was time to take a mock test. That was my battlefield. Sometimes I didn't even have the courage to start the test. And on the rare days when I finally gathered enough courage to attempt one, I would see my score and everything inside me would collapse. Forget analyzing the paper, I couldn't even look at it again. Instead of learning from my mistakes, I started judging myself because of them. I convinced myself that low marks meant I wasn't capable. That was my biggest mistake. Not the low score, not the wrong answers, but walking away from the very thing that could have helped me improve. I was so busy comparing my chapter 1 with someone else's chapter 20 that I forgot something very important. Improvement takes time. While others were solving more questions, I should have been spending more time understanding my mistakes. Their journey wasn't my journey, their pace wasn't my pace, but I couldn't see that. Every evening ended the same way overthinking, self doubt, exhaustion, sleep, and then the cycle repeated again and again. I kept chasing perfection until I realized something that changed everything. Perfection doesn't exist. Improvement does. One day I made a promise to myself I don't care if analyzing one mock test takes my entire day, I will finish it. I stopped rushing, I stopped competing, I stopped looking at how much everyone else had completed. Instead, I started asking a different question. Did I understand my mistakes today? Some questions took me 5 attempts. Some concepts refused to enter my brain. Some topics made me feel completely lost. But this time I stayed. One question, one concept, one correction at a time. Slowly, something unexpected happened. The questions that once terrified me started feeling similar. The mistakes that once repeated themselves became less frequent, not because I had become extraordinary, but because I had finally become patient. You know what our biggest problem is as aspirants? We want to master everything in a single day. We expect ourselves to understand every concept instantly, solve every question correctly, and score high from the very beginning. But life doesn't work that way. A child doesn't start running the day they are born. First, they learn to sit, then crawl, then stand, then fall, then start again. Only after countless attempts do they finally learn to walk. Why do we expect ourselves to be any different? Learning also deserves patience, growth also deserves time. There is something else I want to confess. For a long time, I was terrified of mock tests. Whenever the timer started counting down, my heartbeat became louder than my thoughts. As the minutes disappeared, my confidence disappeared with them. Sometimes I started at the questions without even knowing where to begin. Deep inside, I secretly wished I could clear the exam without ever taking another mock test. Sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? But fear often is. Then one day I asked myself, if mock tests scare me this much, shouldn't I be taking more of them instead of avoiding them? That day, I made another promise. I will take so many mock tests that fear itself will get tired of visiting me. Because courage isn't the absence of fear, courage is showing up despite it. So, if your mock scores are low, good. Now you know where you stand. If your analysis takes hours, good. That means you are learning. If your progress feels slower than everyone else's, good. You are building your own foundation. Remember this, mock tests don't decide your future, they reveal your present. And once you know where you are, you finally know where to improve. So stop running away from the score, sit with it, learn from it, respect the process. Because one day the marks that once made you cry will become the very reason you smile. And when that day comes, you will realize that your biggest breakthrough wasn't getting a higher score, it was becoming the kind of person who never stopped learning from a low one.